has started recording. Okay, so going to start again. So that is our motive or goal that we are going to discuss about the secure architecture, and with the courtesy of Denim Group, which is the leading secure software development firm, and the person who presented this presentation or prepared this presentation. So you can see a line of his security certifications as well. So you can imagine that how and what is the depth of this technicality related to the security. Now, what is the presentation overview? The presentation overview discusses about the basic application security, which is known as the AppSec or application security fundamentals. Then risk associated with the vulnerabilities applications. So what is the fundamental application security? What are the risks associated with that? And then understanding the software attack surface, which is SAS is known, and also to discuss about the mean time to fix, which is known as the MTTF. So MTTF is the stand for the mean time to fix in case if suppose we have some of the issues or vulnerabilities for that. So to explain that and how we can use this. Then the application testing, which is the more than simple than the scans, and how to include the AppSec, which means the application security, in your annual risk assessment. So then the tools and the resources to assess and audit the application security and the maturity of the application. So these are the points which are actually done related to the secure architecture from the Denim Group, as we already mentioned about that. Now, if we just go ahead, so you can see from here that he is representing about the application security fundamentals. That is the first part in the application. What is that actually? That particular part is, you can see from the right side that he is showing us the layers: OSI layer 1 and 2, OSI layer 3, OSI layer 4, OSI layer 5 to 7, then the web application. So he is explaining us that our primary focus is on the layer number 7 of the OSI reference model to make applications secure, because we are discussing about secure software development. So the lower layers, which are actually the network layer and transport layer and hardware, so these are important for the security, but they are not important with link to the security of the secure coding, but they are important for network security, important for communication security, important for the other aspects of the security. But here we are supposed to focus on the layer number 5, which is actually totally depend on the SDLC. So you remember the SDLC, System Development Lifecycle, that is actually how to follow the steps and how to reach to get the software done, and that we will require to follow the SDLC, but secure SDLC. So going on, what is the risk associated with the vulnerabilities applications? Second thing, so from here we understand that we have to, while we are looking for the secure architecture, then we are supposed to look into the layer number 7 in the OSI reference model, which is the application layer. Now, what are the risks associated with this one? Could be many. What are these? Maybe unauthorized access is there to the sensitive customers or company data. Going back, see here, see for example, the layer number 7, we are considering about the web application. So what's the next? Unauthorized access to home, sensitive customer data. How? We just discussed it, how many data breaches are there. Maybe the theft of the sensitive data to conduct identity and theft and the other things. Maybe the credit card fraud and so many other things and other issues and other problems are there. Then what next? Defacement of the website potentials and manipulation of the data or redirecting of the user's information, and attackers can go for the denial of service, and attackers can assume the valid user identities and so on, like what we discussed right a couple of minutes before in our previous class, because 5 of you are already there in that class. So these all are the aspects and the things that's what we discuss, and that's what we are keeping in consideration, that maybe these all are the risk and the vulnerabilities will be there in case if suppose the secure architecture is not there. Going back previously, if you remember, we discussed in one of the lab about some of the car company, where its design was stolen. So we said that it is under because of the design was stolen, so architecture was stolen, so the company went to the went to the loss, and how it happened and why it happened and what was the weaknesses from their website and these things. So here, these all things what we discussed earlier. So these all things are the actually expected risk which are associated with that one. Now, what is your software attack surface? Means how much software currently you know about, and how much size of the attacks could be, and how much size of the attack can be there to bring the abnormality in your software. So what category you are using, and what critically legacy of the system is there, and what are the other issues could be possibly there. So you can see from here, from this slide to the other slide. So in this slide, you can see that this is the same slide, means the part 2. So you can see the focus on the circle. This is the red circle, and inside the red circle, and there is another circle. So what the circle is giving us a message. So what we are saying, that this is the application of your organization, which may bring the harm in case if suppose at this much level of the any discrepancies are there, or any issues in your secure architecture is there. So this is only the general information about the architecture. So no need to go in depth. Now what happened, that in case if you bought the software from somewhere, then how much chances are going to be increase of the software attack. So compare the slide number 1, slide number 2, and slide number 3. So it is just trying to show you the difference based on the vulnerabilities, and based on the risk, and based on the attacks. So how could be this could be the happen in case suppose you are purchasing from someone, and suppose you are not knowing about these things. So how much these things can bring the harm for you. Now, even going to the mobile cloud. So what it means, that when we are increasing its scope from small level to the upper intermediate level, to the more than intermediate level, and to the scope to the clouds, we are making it vast. So the issues are the chances of the vulnerabilities and the problems, they are also increasing. So this is very much simple, and very much direct proportional. That if suppose the one of the software is being used by the 10%, so the chances of being compromised the software will be less in case if suppose it is being used by the 100%, or in case it is being used by the 1 million people. So these things we are looking how to consider and make them safe with all of the other parameters that what we are discussing all the time. Architecture, a secure architecture is the key point itself, or important itself, to handle these things. Now, what is the attack surface in our web application? So you can see, if we notice for the layer number 7, where we are using the web component. So attack surface is what? That web application is running, client application is there, desktop application is there, cloud application is there, and mobile application is there. So what is the inside, and what is the perception? What do you think, which one will be having the more vulnerable part, or more vulnerable what we can, the segment which will be will be the more vulnerable with respect to the your understanding. So what the auditor's perspectives, they are saying that if suppose we are going with the different kind of the applications, so our perception is the more vulnerable application is the application which is running on the mobile applications. So you know that why it is, because this is a wireless medium and that is even mobile device security is an issue and so many other things are there. So that's why it is more means vulnerable. And if suppose we come to the cloud, it is vulnerable, but it is comparatively less vulnerable compared to the mobile application. Then we come to the desktop, then see, this is actually we are reducing the scope. So if we are reducing the scope, so the point of exploitation and point of the vulnerabilities are going to be decreased. So the architecture what we are designing, the secure architecture what we are saying, that it is required actually means a secure architecture separate for each mode or separate for each module or separate for each of the segment. Now, what is the actually value and the what is the actually the value and the risk? Okay, the value and risk are actually not equally distributed if suppose the secure architecture is not there. Some of the applications, they matters more than the others. So there we can even means consider the value, and we means try to ignore the some sort of the vulnerabilities and point of explorations and issues as well. So this is actually means depend on the application to application. If you remember that we already discussed about that. But some of the applications we cannot afford the risk. So we even try to limit them their usage as well. So we can look at them the different level of the resources, and we can assure that they can be working but under some sort of the conditions. So they are not equally distributed. This is when we are designing, when we are considering the secure architecture, we are supposed to means see this one. So there is no any hard and fast rule where we can say that they have this much ratio. This depend actually on application to application, type of application, area of application, where it is and how it is. Now see here, there is a myth about the security. Those myths are actually not rationalized, and non-technical aspects maybe they can work, but in technical aspects they don't. So whenever we design the security aspects, we have to be very much careful to consider those points. So what is the myth number one? That I don't need any app security because my network is secure. So this is a completely myth. Why it is a completely myth? No, we require. This is the myth, like suppose you have a house and you have the two dogs, very dangerous dog, and you say that I have the two dogs on my door, so that's why I don't need the security. No, this is not possible, because what about the other four sides? What about the inside? What about the, there are so many ways, so your security of home can be compromised. So this is only myth. No, but we have to be, our architecture, secure architecture have to be considering all of the aspects and all of the points to make the things more safer and secure. Now, mean time to fix, which is known actually the MTTF. Mean time to fix is a very important point in case if suppose we face an issue. So how long we required a time. So if you notice, if suppose 5 of you, I'm just repeating for the one of the guy who was not there, 5 of you, you remember that we just discussed in our previous class that in case if suppose our software or our application or anything is going to be compromised, so even the average time of 49.6 days, so because it is 0.6, so we can call approximately 50 days, are actually required to exactly know that we or our software is under attack or it is compromised. And then we can, means after that we can be able to find out or mitigate the processes or procedures. So before that we cannot. So you just imagine that what it means. This is the something very strong message for us. Now, going ahead, the mean time to fix is means related a link with that particular part. Now, what's the next myth? We are means having a next myth among us that we are saying that an automated scanner can means find all the application vulnerabilities that exist, like what you have done, which you are the lab number 1 and lab number 2. You try to run the different means scanners, so you try to find out the vulnerabilities and you try to find out the bugs as well. But trying to find out by using the different tools, that is a means if you feel that you find it out and now they are fixed and then it's okay. So this is a myth, cannot be. They can help you to means pinpoint about issues, but they will not help you to fix it up. And number two, they may not pinpoint exactly vulnerabilities or bugs or the issues in your software. Maybe they pinpoint 9 of the issues. What happens if suppose your software contains the 20 of the issues? Maybe the software that does not, the tool does not have the capability to find out 100%. So that's why we are going manually, we are going with tool, we are making sure while we are designing our architecture, we are going safe, so we may not believe and trust on this type of the myth. Now what's the next? The next is what goes into an application we have to test. Whatever input we are giving, whatever process we are going to, whatever things we are going to do, we have to check, we have to test for our application security. Okay, so like suppose we may not allow the unauthenticated automated scanners. Maybe the scanner itself is having the issues and maybe they can bring the issues for us. We have to use the authenticated automated scans. Okay, we have the automated binary means analysis and binary blind penetration testing. We may not go for that. We have to check with the manual sources as well. We have to check with the manual binary analysis as well. We have to use the informed manual testing, automated source code scanning. We have to have the manual aspects. We have to follow the all of these steps at the level of the SDLC. So whatever the things we are suggesting, we are doing, we have to verify and we have to check them. We may not go blindly for any aspect or for any part of that. So the application security, what can you do and why? Say, for example, the IT auditors, they are trying to let us know we are supposed to consider the things which are on the left side, which is the information security professional. As an information security professional, we need to promote the application security awareness in your organizations, because that is actually not only helping to the organization, but you are helping yourself as well. If the application development is secure, then this will not bring the problem for your organization, as well as it will not bring any of the issues or the problems for you as well. Confirm, you have to confirm, you have to verify the application security. Testing is done for overall of the program, for every module, for every component, for every process. It is not only just a means common run test and then we say it is okay. Okay, you have to demand for all of the applications which are developed by the third parties as well. So they have to test, you have to test, you have to means place them in the production and have to make sure about the application security and have to make sure that you are means obtaining your review and following your SDLC process and completing and finishing these all of the things. So these things are truly important. Okay, so what is the IT auditors are thinking about that they are influencing to your chief audit executive to include the app security and organization and blah blah blah. That is their part, but at least you have to be means make sure that about your part, what you are doing, that is the most importantly done in a more appropriate way. Now, tools and resources. What type of the tools and resources we are using? The most important part is, again, it comes to us the same thing, OWASP. As I suggested to you that you may use the OWASP, you may just go to subscribe the OWASP and you may use that one for your particular part, because you can get a lot of information, not only for the secure software development, but also for the network security, wireless security and everything, because that is the common platform, industry-based platform for the security. So you can find out so many tools from there, you can find out so many informations from there, you can find out so many details from there, you can find out so many updates from there, you can find out so many samples from there, you can find out so many case studies as well from there. So you can see from here, it is means explaining us that how many different tools we have, that which we can, tools and resources are there we can use. So open software assurance, this is the open SAM, is a means freely available open source tool which you can use it for the security purposes. Then the open web application security project, which is means already it can find out, means give you, suggest you the range of the tools as well. So the OWASP Z-Attack proxy, which is known as the ZAP, and WebD, Web Security, NetSparker, Maminta, Stalker, Skipfish, Scholar. A range of the tools are there. A range of the tools are there. Maybe while you were means finishing your assessment jobs for your assessment number 1 and assessment number 2, probably you was means trying to work on that, but at that time you were looking for the different tools. Maybe you find a few of the tools from there, and maybe you don't, but means you can find out a detail of the tools which can help you for different aspects, for different screening, and for scanning it for the different purposes. Now the OWSP top 10. What are the top 10? So the link is given there. So you can go and see the top 10 categories for this product is what from A1 to A10, which is the injection, broking, authentication, session management, cross-site scripting, insecure direct object referencing, security misconfiguration, sensitive data exposure, and so on and so on. I think these all are the related to the secure software things, and you are using the cross scripting and all of your other labs. You are already using the WebGoat. This is also a part of the OWASP. So this is something really a great, a huge, a comprehensive platform. Any security professional means must be aware about this. For this, and SSL and other few are the most important resources from where you can get the means complete and comprehensive information all the time. Now we're coming here, so you can see from here for the application security audit work means the people they are looking for, so they are supposed to check for so many questions. So this is the Excel sheet is given here in the presentation. So this contain a lot of questions. If you remember last time we also discussed, so I can open it for you, this Excel sheet, so you can see that how many the things are, the questions are there, and we can open it means later I can open it for you, so you can means find out. Okay, and maybe we finish the lecture, then I will just open it for you, or if you wish we can open it right now, because this is in this mode. If you just double click on this, not in the running show mode, and it will open it for you. So you can see, are you able to see the Excel screen? Young man, are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir. We can see it.
Yeah, that's great. Huh? So now you can see that these all are the questions. No need to go means to read these questions, that what these are and what plans are, but you can have a look. Maybe you spend a few minutes of time on this just to get an idea that how these things are. So these things are actually helping us, these questionnaires, and this is a scoreboard. You remember last time we discussed. So you will be means asking, yes, did you done this, did you done this, you done this, and what are these are the parameters. So once you will fulfill these all, you will finish these all things, then what happened, this will be automatically means bring the results here for the maturity level at this dashboard. So you will be able to see that what is the extent of your software. So we are just means closing this one, because this is for your idea. You can means run it later on, not a problem. Now, why we are discussing that these things are important? These things are very, very important. The secure architecture, the right architecture, the important. Why this is, say for example, again, this slide is discussing about the tools, the threat fix tools and threat fix auditor. So these are the vulnerability management tools, and there are so many tools inside. You can find out a list of the tools is given there. Okay, so most of the tools where we are using, so we are just skipping because it's the tools. Now see about the architecture, because we just started how, but now just see, this is the means one of the example of the architecture. So you can see that it is with my mouse pointer. So this is A, this is B, and this is B. So what is the instance architecture for this one is, instructions are cut off the pieces, attach tab A to the B, and wow, this is done. So you can see this is the means a very simple example, that if suppose we have architecture and we want to give it to the user, so how they can means manage or manage it. So this can help, the safe and secure architecture can help to construct the things properly. What happened to this screen? See to this screen. Okay, in this, if suppose this is the fault of the designer, this is the fault of the architect person. What happens if suppose he just try to install in this way? So which one we will use? If suppose the two people are coming, so how? It means the one of them is useless now. Even they both are not means in a good way to use, but at least one of them is useless now. So this is the fault of the design. This is the fault of the architecture. This is not the fault in quality. This is not the fault in installation. This is not fault in the material. This is not the fault for the application design and everything. But this is the fault of the means architecture is not the proper. This is only the few of the example that what is the architecture and why we are discussing like this. So security architecture, the types of security architectures we need to further discuss about this. Before that, we just try to come up with this to give the importance about the architecture. So type of the security architecture, now we're going to discuss what is security architecture, why do security architecture we consider, why it is important. We need to know security architecture, what it is, why we need to consider, what are the types of the security architecture. So the most importantly, security architecture is known as SABSA, SABSA. This is the very well known security architecture in the secure software engineering, which is known as the SABSA. And sometimes we also call the SABSA framework. And there are the different models for the SABSA. So we will see that what is the SABSA. It will come now. And there are the other models as well. So the types of the security architectures are the mainly security architecture is of two types. One is the enterprise security architecture and other is the solution security architecture. Solution security architecture is known as the SSA, which is actually for the lower level like for the projects and for the programs, and its scope is lower level. And enterprise security architecture, which is known as the ESA, this is the means at the larger level, at the frameworks we are designing, and the models we are designing at the industry level like this. So how these two types are going to work, you see, before that we try to understand that what is actually the security architecture. The security architecture can be defined as the problem and solutioning with the focus on a security. Say, for example, if someone is bringing us a problem, this is our problem. So we may not give them him or her the solution directly. He is looking for the main solution, but we have to give him not only the solution, but we have to give him a solution which is secure. So we have to give him secure solution, not the only solution. We have to ensure the security requirements are identified and meet. We have to ensure the controls and the enablers and the whatever the inputs, whatever the outputs, whatever the things we discuss, they all are secure. So we in bottom line is that we have to ensure the security, which are the services going to be provided by them, which how it will be going to be done, the process and everything, but that solution will be containing the secure information. So security architecture is means the supporting function for the business purposes. So it must be maintained, it must be involved the changes in the threat landscape and the business strategy. So whenever it means we are changing the business strategy, we have to update our secure architecture as well. So this is the most important point actually, that we have to provide the solution, but not only the solution, but the secure solution. Why do security architecture is required? Again, we already discussed to support the business to work in a secure way. They can get their objectives in a secure way. There is no risk or the business is running in a proper way. There is no harm for the business. In case if suppose any harm is there, then we will be not able to continue our operations, or maybe we are going to the level where we can destroy or when we can lose our business as well. So we need to, for that, how we can implement. For that, we are there to provide a secure solution. For providing a secure solution, first we need to understand what is the security requirement for any particular architecture. What is the security requirement for any particular business process? What is the security requirement for any project? So we need to understand that first. Then only we will be able to provide them. So that's what he is mentioning in his points. They need to understand the risks and opportunities and need to implement the controls which enable the support and try to deliver the services management support in a secure way. So this is how we are trying to go for the security model. So now what are the security model? The existing models, there are so many, but the most importantly, the common one is known as SABSA. SAPSA is actually S is stand for the Sherwood, A is stand for applied, B is stand for the business, S is stand for security, and A is stand for the architecture. This is the SAPSA. Is the most commonly. This is the comprehensive methodology which is means developed for the business oriented models, which can means provide the security and can remove or mitigate or minimize the means risk opportunities, and it focus on during the architecture to provide the safer and secure services for any organization. So these are the young men's means the John Sherwood, David Lyons, and Andrew Clark. These are the people who actually come up with this model, and this model is very much popular and being used everywhere for providing the secure architecture. So it was started in mid 1995 actually, and means the no framework at the time or no any means appropriate, but this belongs to the ESA. You remember the ESA is the one which is there for the enterprise solution level. So this is the most common, and this is the most important point is that this is the open source, and means it is protected and being handled by the SAPSA Institute. So this name is means now you understand it why its name is the SAPSA. So SAPSA Institute is the one who is handling it. It's open source and it can be used by anyone. And this model, sorry, this model can help to provide the security, to mitigate or to minimize the risk, and to run the operations smooth. So SAPSA is an institute which is holding, running, owning this model, and it was formed in 2012, while this model was formed in 1995. So don't forget for that. So that institute was formed to protect this particular model and to ensure that this framework is means evolves the maturity in the softwares and in the secure structures. Going ahead, this is the model security architecture. If we see, so you can see from this one that how it is working is starting from the design, strategy, implementation, and planning, and what it is considering. It's considering the contextual security architecture, conceptual, logical, physical, and component security architecture. Component means it is going to means work for the each component of the system, physical security, logical security, conceptual security, and contextual security as well. So this is considering all aspects of the security, and this is the phenomena how the SAPSA is working. Now SAPSA matrix, like suppose if you implement the SAPSA, so if you notice right now that we had the Excel sheet, so in this general way we have one of the metrics for the SAPSA. So from where we can check that how the process is working, what is the motivations, what are the assets, how many people are involved in this process, what is the location where we have, why we are looking for the location, because see there is a one of the element which is the contextual security architecture. So we have to see the security in the context level as well, that where the means model is working, what will be the means users will be there, and the other context importance points are there. So from here you can see that this is the context, this is the conceptual, this is the logical, this is the physical, this is the component, and this is the service management architecture. So if we just go back, so you can see from here that this is the contextual number one layer. Second layer is the means conceptual security. Third layer is the logical security. Fourth layer is the physical security, and fifth layer is the component security, and the sixth layer is the security service, which is actually for all of these layers. So this is the same thing you can find from here. This is the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and this is the service. So for this all we have this matrix. These are the questions. This is like your rubric sheet. So we need to verify them to make sure that how our SAPSA model is working. Now there are the means different frameworks and models. Many models are available for our direct use, and many models are available in open source. Many models are available which we can means try to customize them and try to make the changes with this based on our means requirement. So those models are, some of the models are working for the attribute, some of the validity, some of the governance module, sorry, some of them for the maturity policy, some of the policy modules, some for the life cycle. A range of the different modules are there. So these all are actually helping us to come up with the secure architecture. So now the standard attributes for the business attributes, this is the taxonomy. So you can find out from the user attributes, what are the user attributes we are considering. I just make it the pointer, it will be more great for you to understand. Yeah. So you just see here, this is the user attributes. So what things are coming under this? Then these are the means management point of view, what things are coming under this. This is the risk point of view, what things are coming in under this. So in the same pattern, we are looking for the different aspects. So following this taxonomy, so how we can make sure and safer to this one. So this is the lecture by the director of the Denim Group, and his detail and email they're given here. Website is also given here. His blog post is also given here, so you can be able to use this information, and you can be able to open this lecture is available there. So thank you very much. Now we can go to explain to you about your concerns for the assignment or assessment, whatever you said, and then we can, if you have the further questions, we can. So we are done from the lecture. So now we can go for the questions and about your assignments and about your dates what you wish to extend. So we stop recording now.